the Know for Thursday, February 16th, the 47th day of 2023. There are 318 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Weather seems to be the banner headline for today. We'll tell you what to expect. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Have you heard the big tech news today?
I haven't.
Internet Explorer finally gone.
Aw.
Microsoft pulled the plug on Internet Explorer, at least on desktops, as of Tuesday. A day of love, saying goodbye to Internet Explorer for nearly 30 years. It's falling on the scrap heap of history with Netscape Navigator, Ask Jeeves, the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I guess one question is, now what are we going to use to download Chrome?
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to use Microsoft Edge to download Chrome now. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I'm looking for higher ground today. All this wet stuff and a lot of rain already falling. I did want to ask you, though, did you see during Sunday night Super Bowl, there were a lot of people who were still having to conduct their normal lives. They were either traveling to places or traveling from places. And there's a photo that's gone viral on the internet from an airplane that has the in-seat headrests and the in-seat video screens that are built into the headrest. And a guy took a photo from the back of the plane, and everybody on the plane was watching the Super Bowl except for one guy who was watching Hitch.
Yes,
and it was like,
I saw that.
Who's this guy? Like, who's the one guy that's not watching the Super Bowl? And I think someone commented and said, well, he's just waiting for the halftime show. And then he would flip over there with everyone else. So I thought it was kind of fun. Hitch is an okay movie. But he probably had plenty of opportunities to see it,
I did see that picture, though. It's kind of funny.
Strong to severe storms are possible through the evening. I think the most severe portion is going to be late morning through early afternoon, but we're going to see a chance of rain throughout until probably 8 o'clock tonight. There's technically a flood watch in effect for our area until about midnight tonight. That's for all areas south of the parkways. So south of the Bluegrass, south of the Western Kentucky parkways, we'll have a flood watch. But 100% chance of rain today. Yeah, no kidding. 70 is listed as the high. I don't know that we'll necessarily crawl that high where we live. Turning colder overnight tonight, 32. So to go from mid-70s yesterday.
I'm just thinking of it on the bright side, is that at least this rain isn't tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just think about how much snow that would be.
That would be quite a bit. So we're going to we're going to only rebound to about 38 for tomorrow. And it could be just because of this weird precipitation change in the falling temperature. You could see a few flurries here and there. But I did see one of the meteorologists yesterday with the National Weather Service that said nothing good ever comes from 70-degree temperatures and dew points in the 60s during standard time. Mm-hmm. Because that's common in May and June and July, and you see that. But to have that in February, to be in the 70s with a dew point where we are, and the time hasn't changed yet. And so we're going to get some wind today, so just be prepared. Also got a little traffic advisory for you. Saw a note from the Transportation Cabinet yesterday that if you use Cave Creek Road, that's Kentucky 736, the Transportation Cabinet will be replacing drainage pipes along a section of that area, and closure will take place Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. next week. That's on a section running parallel with Rough River Lake between Cave Creek Lane and Kentucky 110. So if you travel that area, you know where that is, and you know how to adjust accordingly. 3 people have been arrested after police raided a Litchfield residence. This happened yesterday morning about 10. The LPD initiated surveillance on a mobile home in the 600 block of Commerce Drive after a complaint of domestic violence involving a 25-year-old Hakim Bowles of Oak Grove, who is a wanted felon but has ties to Grayson County. According to police, he was considered by law enforcement to be armed and dangerous, has been arrested multiple times over the last several years. He was last convicted in McCracken County in April of 2022, but they surveilled the area about an hour, and then they spotted Bowles at the Commerce Drive residence, made entry with multiple officers. Now, while they cleared the residence, they found drugs, paraphernalia, etc. And I will tell you, I when I scrolled over this story this morning, there was a Litchfield teenager, an 18-year-old, that was also arrested. If you see this photo at K105.com, there's an additional arrest photo of the 18-year-old. And there was something that just struck me about that particular photo that kind of summed up how sad. Just there was something about the emotion, the shame, the disappointment, I am messing up my life type of. There was just something to me about that photo that I would hope that someone else would see that and then make different decisions based on, like, don't be this person. And it just it really made an impression upon me. And it just, I know those things exist and I know people do those things, but you can really mess yourself up at an early age.
Hopefully she can use this as a learning experience. And
you would hope. Absolutely. It's what we'd hope for everyone in that situation. The Western Kentucky teenager accused of murder has been captured. As state police said, 18-year-old William Arendt of Island, that's down in McLean County, was caught Tuesday night in Owensboro. Arendt was wanted for the murder of 20-year-old Stephen Powell of Calhoun. State police responded last Thursday about 3:30 to Calhoun Street. That's weird. Calhoun Street in Calhoun. You would normally see it would be, another town's street, but
in Livermore or something.
Calhoun Street in Calhoun is odd.
I don't think we have a Litchfield Street. Do we?
No, because it would be very confusing. They're all Litchfield streets. Nonetheless, he has been captured.
I guess if you're in Owensboro, there's Litchfield Road, but
yeah, that's right. But Litchfield Road to Owensboro people is Owensboro Road to us. I do want to tell you, I'm getting ready to tell you a little bit about the governor, Andy Beshear. He's going to be in Litchfield next week. It'll be about this time of day, and I think they're still trying to solidify details. It'll either be Monday and Tuesday for some type of grant presentation. I have a feeling it's going to be Tuesday, since Monday is President's Day, but I don't know that. And
maybe he's wanting to. He can go celebrate one of Kentucky's own presidents right up the road in Hodgenville on Monday. So maybe he's trying to knock 2 birds out with 1 stone.
I'm going to tell him you can't be doing that. You shouldn't be making your motorcade work on President's Day. They should have the day off.
Mm-hmm. Well, that works too.
He signed legislation yesterday that allocates more than $16 million in a final round of funding to build a veterans nursing home in Bowling Green. They did the ribbon cutting and the big, dog and pony show some time ago down there, but went ahead and signed the legislation today. Allocates it signed it yesterday, $16.6 million from the state's Budget Reserve Trust Fund to complete construction of the $53 million Veterans Center. It's a 60-bed skilled nursing facility expected to be completed next year in 2024. Again, he'll be in Grayson County tomorrow. Governor Bevin was here a couple times. Current Governor Beshear's dad, Steve, was here when they did had a big thing out at New York Blower Company. I remember that. I don't know if Steve Beshear was here more times than that or not. Doesn't happen extremely often. Kentucky lawmakers yesterday advanced the first phase of proposed legislation to end unrest in a statewide juvenile detention system that is struggling after a rash of violence. The House Judiciary Committee approved a bill aimed at reopening a youth detention center in Louisville and changing policies for juveniles charged with violent offenses. It would require youths to be held for up to 48 hours pending a detention hearing before a judge. Republican Kevin Bratcher said He is the lead sponsor of the bill, said another measure is expected to deal with internal problems within the State Department of Juvenile Justice. So they're kind of doing this in phases in trying to improve their situation. The Kentucky Senate yesterday approved legislation that would require the part of the Capitol Loop between the state capitol and the Capitol Annex to reopen to vehicular traffic, as it was before being closed as a security measure back in October of 2021. You'll remember there were several demonstrations that were there, and people were kind of running all over the Capitol area, and so they put some bollards up, similar to the way that they did around Pennsylvania Avenue. After 9/11, they changed access to how close you could get to the White House by car. So you can't travel Pennsylvania Avenue through that section. So they put these bollards up to control traffic between the governor's mansion and the Capitol Loop and all that area. But it's a lot like water. When you keep water from going one direction, the water's just going to go somewhere else. Well, the traffic that would have used Capitol Loop didn't just go away. They just found another way to get where they're needing to go. And so it has created congestion in places that they didn't anticipate. And it has increased the risk of pedestrian injury because now people are scrambling to get to where they need to go in different areas. So they are trying to figure out whether they're going to reopen that or not, and heads over to the House. It's like Senate Bill 11, I think. I know, Sam, you're keeping up very closely with the back and forth on the Capitol Loop bill, as it's pivotal to state issues.
Like I said, it's unbelievable that I've lived in Kentucky my entire life, and I've never even been to the state capitol, so I don't even know what the Capitol Loop looks like. I guess I just saw a picture of it.
Can you really be a Kentuckian if you've never been to the state capitol?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Frankfort.
You can, okay.
I mean, I've been to Franklin County High School before.
All right, that counts.
Never into the
if
state
you've been
capitol.
in Franklin County, all right, that's good enough. Shelby Davis has always wanted to play college softball, according to a story at K105.com. I know it was some time ago that she made her decision that she would play collegiate softball at the next level, I think at Midway, but Coach Penny Reese wanted to make sure that she had her day and got her accolades of a formal signing. And that happened earlier this week at Grayson County High School?
It happened on Monday. Shelby is a very soft-spoken person, and she doesn't really like the spotlight on her. So she didn't really want anything like this, and Coach Reese pretty much said, like, you need to have something like this. This is like your day. You've earned this moment. And then as she went on to say, is saying it's big for our program too. You know, to get, beginning the rebuilding of this, it's people realizing, hey, this program is putting out people into college, and hopefully, as Coach Reese said as well, is she hopes that all of the teammates there look and say, hey,
right,
I want to have that day too. And it was interesting. I saw Coach Reese shared our story on her Facebook page, and already a coach of a college, I don't remember where, commented saying, well, we need some Grayson County players on our team.
Well, we can make that happen, can't we?
So yes, it's good to see the ongoing things.
Well, that was wonderful to see, and I thought of that too. Is Shelby probably doesn't want all the pomp and circumstance about her, but the example that it shows and sets for others to be able to, to say, hey, I can do that too, was very important. Kentucky, I think, Sam, I saw you tweet a win is a win or no such thing as a bad win or something like that, but the Cats went on the road to Starkville, got a win 71-68 last night in a win they needed in the worst way.
They won. That's all that matters. In 20
Nothing else
years,
matters.
in 20 years, all that'll matter is it was a W. So, and now let's hope, even though she's wearing kind of the color, let's hope they beat it on. Beat them on
that's more of
Saturday.
peach. That's more of a peach
These
color.
just match my rain boots, or this shirt just matches my rain
no
boots.
Tennessee colors.
It was.
We'll
yeah.
say it's Grayson County colors.
Let's hope that Tennessee used all their energy upsetting the number one team in the country, Alabama, last night, and they'll be a little bit flat.
I think it's like noon on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a noon. I think it's a noon game, so maybe they'll be ready to lay down, and the Cats will win on Saturday. And then no quit in the cards, but they can't close the deal. Lost to Virginia, very good in the ACC, and the Cards lost 61-58. no moral victories, but that one was close. Losing by 3, certainly better than some of the outcomes that they have sustained this season. So there you go. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Dr. Shaw from Owensboro Health Twin Lakes is here. It's Heart Month, and we're going to learn how to be a little easier on our ticker and take care of ourselves. We're going to talk with her. Coming right up here on In the Know.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
Buy one, get one for $1. Deal. It's buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Mix and match a mouth-watering McDouble, flavorful McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, tasty small fries, or for a limited time, a delicious daily double. Get 2 of the same or mix and match. And now, serving Coke Zero. Only at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start March 13th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC. College for the real world.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604 or GraysonCPAs.com.
Every year, Kentuckians dump enough stuff on the ground to fill a football stadium 12 stories high. When it rains, all that trash washes down storm drains and directly into our streams, rivers, and lakes. It's time we all did our part to stop polluting Kentucky's waterways. To find out how you can help, visit stormwater.ky.gov. Brought to you by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
Could you use monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet? Find out about Supplemental Security Income. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Internet Explorer is no more. On Tuesday, Microsoft announced the company's decision to permanently disable the desktop version of Internet Explorer on all devices. Any device that hasn't already been redirected from Explorer to the updated browser Microsoft Edge will be affected. When users attempt to access Explorer, they will be redirected to the Edge browser. Internet Explorer was originally launched in 1995 as one of the first and most popular browsers in history. Elon Musk says the end of 2023 would be good timing for Twitter to have a new CEO. The Twitter chief spoke virtually at a World Government Summit in Dubai and was asked if he'd found a replacement to run the company and when that person would be hired. Musk said he needs to stabilize the organization first and make sure it's in a financially healthy place. He then added, towards the end of this year would be good timing to find somebody else to run the company. And the Biden administration wants at least 500,000 publicly accessible electric vehicle chargers on U.S. roads by 2030. Tesla, the first to commit to helping reach that goal. Tech Report.
Today is Almond Day. It's also Tim Tam Day today. It's kind of like a sandwich cookie. I haven't had it very often. And it's Do a Grouch a Favor Day today. That's the best way to drive a grouch crazy is do them a favor. They won't be able to stand it. It's also the day we say good morning and welcome to Dr. Shaw. She is with the internal medicine group at Owensboro Health, and she joined us. It's Heart Month. We're going to talk about caring for our heart. Good morning, Dr. Shaw. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me here.
It's so good to see you. Will you do me the favor of helping me with your first name? Is it Ayushima?
Yes, you are actually absolutely correct.
Okay, very good. I thought that it probably had to be that, but I also wanted, oftentimes it's better to hear from the source. And so it's wonderful to see you. I know you've been in the community for a little while getting settled. What's your role and area of practice within Owensboro Health? What type of things do you do?
Okay, so I'm an internal medicine physician. So being an internal medicine physician, I see people from age 18 and above as a primary care physician for all their medical problems. That includes mostly diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. Most of all.
Things that we're all very familiar with,
Yes.
especially in the area of the country that we live. Now, were you born and raised in India? I know you were educated in India. Were you born and raised there?
So I'm from Nepal, actually.
From Nepal,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's like a bordering country from India.
Yes.
So I did my medical school there, and I came here to do my residency. I was in Florida for my residency, and then I'm here now.
So, Kathmandu
Yes.
to Hollywood, Florida.
Yes.
To Owensboro/Litchfield, Kentucky.
Yeah.
What brought you to Kentucky?
So actually, my husband and me, we were both looking for a job, and he is the hospitalist in the hospital. We found the job in an area that we both liked, and we wanted to start a family together here, and it's looked like a perfect place to do that. So that's why we are here.
Well, we're glad you chose our area. We always welcome people who choose to live here. There are a lot of people that were born here and they just didn't do anything else, but the fact that you would choose our area is an honor, and we are grateful for that. When did you know you wanted to be a physician?
Okay. That's a difficult question, though. I've been hearing that a lot, but I actually don't remember when I actually decided, because it was way back when I was very young. I used to go with my grandmother to her hospital visits and everything. And I think that point itself, that made me realize I want to be something, but there's not a definite point in a time that I can say this was the time I wanted to be a doctor.
The path just sort of revealed itself in front of you, and you took it. Now, I read something interesting that you said that practicing medicine was a privilege.
Yes.
And I thought that was a very interesting assessment. Kind of explain what you mean by that.
So I'm from a country, Nepal. Okay, it's a very small nation out there. Even getting education is a problem there. Okay, the education is not free. You have to earn that thing. You have to work hard for this. So, being a doctor by your hard work and coming here, I think it's a privilege for me. Okay, so that's what I meant by that. That's what I feel like for myself.
My guess is your patients benefit from that ideology too. If you think it's a
Yes.
privilege to serve them and help make them better, then it's a win-win for them. Now, it's Heart Month, and that's one of the reasons that you're here. And when we talk about heart disease, that sort of bundles up a grouping of conditions. What are the most common areas of heart disease?
Okay, mostly like heart disease. By heart disease, we mean mostly that affects our heart and the vessels itself, okay? Mostly coronary artery disease, that's the major thing, okay? Stroke, that's the other thing. And these are all caused by all our chronic medical conditions like hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol. These are all, as a whole, we call it as heart disease itself. So coronary artery disease is one of the most commonest causes, which in a simple layman term, we call it as heart attack as well, okay? And many people suffer from that, mostly actually 11% of American, that is 1 in every 9 population that gets affected with heart disease. So that's what is meant by most of the heart disease.
I think I even read that about 311,000 Kentuckians alone have coronary artery disease, and that's just one of the diseases that we consider within the umbrella of heart disease. So it's even particularly problematic for Kentuckians.
Yes, it is.
And are there obviously an ounce of prevention is worth many pounds of cure. But is there what's the best prevention for heart disease?
The best prevention is actually like controlling your risk factors. Okay, by risk factors I mean your blood pressure. Okay, your sugar, that's a blood sugar for diabetes, your cholesterol levels. Other thing, these are something like that are modifiable. Other things are like smoking, controlling like or quitting smoking itself. That decreases the risk of heart disease. Decreasing alcohol use, that decreases the risk of heart disease. Other things are like preventative wise, exercise. That's important. Like any form of exercise that helps with the heart disease itself.
So there are certain risk factors that are byproducts of behaviors,
Yes.
smoking, too much alcohol,
Yes.
et cetera. That's adding to the risk factors. But genetics and family history also play into the risk factors. How do we assess those?
Yes, by genetics, it means like, if a family member has it and it passes generation by generation through the genes, that is genetics. So mostly hypertension, diabetes do have genetic risk factors, but that also combines with the environmental factors as well, such as like if a family members are sharing like common lifestyle, like what they are eating, what they are doing, that increases the risk factor as well. So by only genetics, the chances increase, but sharing the same environment, sharing the same dietary habits, that increases the risk.
So I know a lot of people will say, well, I have a family history of this, or my genetics say I have a predisposition to heart disease. If you identify that and know that in and of itself isn't fatal, but it means we have to be much more careful with our behaviors and our other risk factors to mitigate the genetics or the family history aspects. Is that how we would approach it?
Yes, that's true. Like once you know that your family has a history of heart disease, mostly, early coronary artery disease itself, okay, those are very high risk factors. So you need to start doing your part of the job, exercising, not smoking, decreasing alcohol intake. These are some things you can do by your side because these are modifiable risk factors. You already have a genetic, but you do have modifiable risk factors that you can prevent from.
A few years ago, it was the first time I heard the adage that sitting is the new smoking.
Okay.
The longer you,
Yeah.
if you have a job where you sit at a desk, it can be in ways as deadly as smoking. And so getting out of that sedentary lifestyle is extremely important. But I've also been reading where when a lot of people here say, oh, Dr. Shah, you're going to tell me I need to exercise. Well, yes, that's true. That would be great. But you don't have to be hardcore at the gym and pumping iron. If my understanding is if you'll just get up and be active a few times a week for a relatively short period of time, it goes a long way to helping you just introduce that activity into your routine. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, that's correct. What is recommended now is 150 minutes per week of daily exercise. Okay, by exercise I mean the same thing, okay, what you were saying to my patient as well, because mostly my patients are old and when I say exercise they are like, really? Me? Then I say I just don't mean go and lift heavy weights right now, 10, 15 pounds, not that. Okay, what I mean by exercise is according to your age itself. Okay, I don't want you to go and lift heavy weights right now. Okay, but do something like you are moving around every day, okay? Not sitting in the bed for 24 hours. If you like gardening, go and do gardening. If you like walking up the stairs, just walk up the stairs, okay? In this weather especially,
Oh, yeah,
okay?
right.
And if the weather is nice, go out for a walk, okay? Bicycling, these are some of the options. Swimming, these are all good options. But even 5 minutes of activities per day, you can start with that. Make a habit of doing that. Once you have make a habit, you need to do something, then you start increasing it 5 minutes per day, okay?
Well, and we also have these wearables now,
Yes.
and I use mine. And, mine reminds me, hey, you've been sitting for a while. You've been at your desk working. why don't you get up and go get a cup of coffee?
Yes.
Or why don't you just get up and move? And so it turns into almost a game with self that, just do however much you walk today, just walk more tomorrow.
Yes.
And walk more the day after that. And the next thing you know, you might be running. But too often times, my guess is your patients say, you want me to be an Olympian? You want me to train for the Olympics? And that's not what you're asking of them at all.
Yes. I don't expect them to do that much as well because I may not run that much as a...
Well, you're a busy individual.
Yes. So, but what I expect from them is just a little bit of activity. Even like the problem here is like they don't move around much. Moving around, seeing new environment, that refreshes your mind. Okay. And that's what is absolutely necessary, along with your movement of your muscles in all the parts of your body. And that decreases your risk for blood pressure, high blood pressure, your sugars are down, and your cholesterol are down. And in that way, your heart disease prevention, you are moving a step forward for that.
It's not an impossibility. It just requires effort. You put forth a little effort every day, and before you know, you're on a different path to health and wellness. Now, if I have been part of the discussion this morning and I've heard all the advice that you've offered and I've said, okay, I'm ready to do something different, but I need some help. I need a resource. Are there plenty of resources available from Owensboro Health that can help me get on the path to something different?
Yes, there are plenty of resources available. The first and foremost thing what you can do from your side itself, exercise, I know that's first step, dietary changes as well. By dietary changes, I mean is low salt. That is more important, okay? That you can do by cooking at your house by yourself, not eating out frequently. These are all available at your home rather than going anywhere. Other than that, we have plenty of resources available at Owensboro, which we can provide to our patients as well.
You mentioned sodium. You drink Diet Coke, but then you look at how much sodium is in Diet Coke, or you eat healthy choice meals, but then the preservatives are all sodium based. And so it's really a balance of everything. Yeah. It's not impossible. You just got to have good friends and good advice. And it sounds like you're capable of giving us good advice. And I'm so glad you came by this morning.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm enjoying it here.
I know that, you've already seen patients this morning. You've been active, and I know you've got a patient load that you've got to get back to. But thanks for coming out and visiting on a rainy day, and I hope you'll come back soon.
Yes, of course.
Thank
you so much. It's my pleasure to inform good things to people, and I can help in some way.
Very good. Thank you. That's Dr. Ayushma Shah from the Internal Medicine Group with Owensboro Health. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. More on the way here on In the Know.
Hendrickson in Elizabethtown is now hiring welders, machine operators, fork truck operators, and production associates. These are second, third, and weekend shift positions. Hendrickson is interviewing now. Walk-in interviews are welcome. You can also visit their job fair on Friday, February 25th from 8 a.m. until noon at Hendrickson at 940 Black Branch Road in Elizabethtown. These immediate openings include excellent pay and benefits after 30 days, a $500 sign-on bonus, and much more. Speak directly to their HR representative by calling 270-506-5755 and ask about the available positions. Once again, second, third, and weekend shift welding, machine operating, fork truck operating, and production associate jobs are available at Hendrickson in E-Town. Call 270-506-5755 or visit the job fair February 25th from 8 a.m. till noon, or see all their openings at workforh.com. That's workforh.com to work for Hendrickson, 940 Black Branch Road in Elizabethtown.
The Kentucky Department for Community-Based Services is hiring. DCBS invites you to be part of an inclusive team of caring professionals that helps all Kentucky families through a rewarding career in family support or social services. They have job openings in their county offices across the state and offer great benefits like hybrid work schedule, competitive salary, paid holidays, and many opportunities for training and promotions, plus state employee discounts. Go online to chfs.ky.gov and enter DCBS jobs in the search field. It's a new day at DCBS. Join them, an equal opportunity employer, MFD.
I'm an emergency medical technician. Today I arrived at the scene of a crash. I've seen enough of these to know it's a bad one. Young female driver, unconscious. I see her phone on the floor. The screen says OMW. On my way. She never hit send. Be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up and put the phone down.
Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Could you use monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet? Find out about supplemental security income. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low and you're 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. Showers and thunderstorms will continue to roll through the area during the afternoon into the early evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be strong to severe. Damaging winds will be our main threat. However, we cannot rule out some hail, isolated tornadoes, or even some localized flash flooding. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know astronauts cannot burp in space?
I did not know that.
Okay, well, that only leads to more questions for me, but I'll save those for another day. No belching in space for the astronauts. What if you get indigestion? Now, what if you're having the astronaut food? What if Tang gives you indigestion and then you can't burp? Then what are you going to do?
We should have asked this to Dr. Shaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to put her on the spot. She would have probably said, "What have I gotten myself into?" But I have a feeling she would have had an answer, so that would have been very wonderful.
And a much more intelligent answer than either one of us.
Probably so. Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet her. I enjoyed learning more about her. The coming off of Sunday night's Super Bowl commercials, where we got a look at Melissa McCarthy in a singing role in that. Was it Booking.com? Yeah,
I think that's right.
Booking.com commercial. She did, I thought, a fine job. Well, now out this week is the new Little Mermaid trailer, where you can see Melissa McCarthy as Ursula in the new teaser for the Little Mermaid. There are her eyes.
I think she kind of fits that a little bit, doesn't she?
Poor unfortunate souls. Yes, she's got that. But
yeah, she
most
does.
of what she does is, we're accustomed to her just being so funny. But I'm sure she can do Ursula.
But Ursula's she's got a little bit of spunk too, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be interesting to see how they pull that whole thing off, because the Little Mermaid is so beloved.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and by multiple generations. Mm-hmm. Metallica has sent $250,000 for Turkey and Syria earthquake aid. The death toll there is now past more than 40,000, just keeps climbing. And Metallica has sent $250,000 to help with the process. And somebody's taking pictures outside. And then, not to be outdone, Michael Jordan donates $10 million to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for his 60th birthday.
Saw that yesterday.
I thought that's a nice move. $10 million. I mean, that's a lot of wishes that can come true. And I have always loved the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's been one that, of course, originally the Make-A-Wish Foundation was very closely tied to Walt Disney World. Like, that's where most of the wishes were being fulfilled. And then they started, over the last 30 years, they've started fulfilling other things. But it's a wonderful organization.
One of the Cincinnati radio personalities, sports talk hosts, his son had leukemia when he was probably about 3 or 4, and that was his wish, was Disney World.
It was.
And he posted yesterday, because he also has a connection, because his name is Lance, the sports talk host, that he was working in Chicago the day that Michael Jordan unretired. And he said that he never checked the fax machine before he left. But I remember his story is that he went and he heard it, and he's like, well, I guess I'll check it, because he had just signed off air, and he went and he checked, and it was the I'm back. And he's like, we got to get back on air. So he had the direct connection to Michael Jordan as well.
Interesting.
So it really meant a lot to him, making the comment saying that, his son has been a benefactor, but also he says he has the extra connection to Michael Jordan.
I have also noticed that the Make-A-Wish Foundation they do wishes now that are not super expensive or outlandish requests. You know, kids that are facing some type of terminal illness or they're battling something and they just say, you know, I want to ride a pony, or I want to, like, just something that you would think, hey, if that's what they want, then, you know, I'm all
I like
I'm all
it when
for
they bring them out at the NFL draft and let them announce a pick.
Yeah. Yeah, that would. Would you like to make a wish to announce an NFL draft pick?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd love to announce the next pick for the Cincinnati Bengals.
So this week we talked about how Bryan Cranston's Tidy Whities from Breaking Bad were going to be at auction and expected to generate $4,000 in auction.
Really?
Well,
I'm honestly a little surprised it's not more than that.
I thought the same thing.
It's a little bit. I have a feeling there were multiple pairs, so it dilutes the value.
I know. I've heard the story about him and those Tidy Whities too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He talked about it on a podcast.
Well, as part of that similar movie memorabilia auction, Ripley's Believe It or Not announced that it has purchased the prop box of candy used in the famous Forrest Gump scene for $25,000. The box is designed as a Russell Stover Candies The Gift Box and features Tom Hanks' autograph on the cover. So the box of chocolates. You want chocolate? I could eat about 1 million of those. Guess what?
How far can you go?
No.
I could probably do the rest of the movie.
Go for a while.
Oh, dear.
Mama always said like there were no chocolates in the box when Ripley's bought it.
Well, I mean,
So you never know what you're going to
Now,
get.
does
No,
this mean you're
nothing.
going to have to go to Ripley's?
I mean, considering he sat there on that bench, I mean, as Tom Hanks, I would have ate them.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he had to pretend to eat some.
Yeah.
I guess he cleared them all out. But, yeah, it was an interesting part about that square in Savannah. The bus traffic is running the opposite way of how it really runs. So if you see him sitting on that bench, the traffic is moving the wrong way. That if you go there, it looks different. But yeah, $25,000 for just the box of Russell Stovers. Yes, no. I guess if you have millions of dollars, $25,000 doesn't seem like much of a.
Sure, Michael Jordan could buy that.
Much of a commitment. That's yeah. Michael Jordan spent all of his money on Make-A-Wish. He didn't have any money for the box of chocolates.
I think his money's better spent at Make-A-Wish.
And then Raquel Welch, the actress and sex symbol, has passed at age 82 after a brief illness. She was before Farrah Fawcett, before the poster women of the 70s and the 80s. Raquel Welch was the thing. And early on, she was in movies that didn't have a lot of dialogue, and they were just, hey, come look at Raquel Welch. But later on in her life, she developed she had some additional acting roles and turned out to be pretty decent at it. But she plays one of the biggest roles in Shawshank Redemption, because it's her poster that Andy wants, that he puts on his wall, and unbeknownst until the end of the movie, do you know, he's carving out the wall behind Raquel Welch. I think that's Raquel Welch on there. But anyway, she's been in things, The Three Musketeers, she was in that. She was in BC, Fantastic Voyage, 1 Million Years BC. So gone on in, Raquel Welch at age 82. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
Blended families are nothing new, but that doesn't mean it's easy to bring together two broken families to make a new one. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. I'd suggest that patience is what's needed most when blending two families. Don't expect to become the Brady Bunch overnight. Developing relationships between new siblings and step-parents takes time, and lots of it, even under the most ideal circumstances. Another thing that takes time, especially for children, is grieving the loss of their original family. They'll wish they could have their old way of life back, their old house, and their old neighborhood. So be understanding and give them time to work through those emotions. Also, it's not a good idea to force your stepchildren to call you Mom or dad. If that's going to happen, it'll have to evolve gradually as your relationship develops and as the child feels more comfortable. Finally, start building a history together. Part of what makes a family feel like a family comes from common experiences and shared memories. So start looking for ways to build a sense of us and we among the members of your household. Plan trips, play games, establish holiday traditions. Take lots of pictures. And especially for the kids' sake, don't try to erase memories of the old family. Just work really hard to build a new one. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called and right away Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
As a nurse in an emergency department, no one knows better than me that car crashes happen. But what I don't understand are injuries and deaths that are 100% preventable. Like the injuries caused by folks who won't buckle up their seatbelts, or crashes caused by those who won't stop messing with their phones. So please, be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up and put the phone down.
Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
The Kentucky Department for Community-Based Services is hiring. DCBS invites you to be part of an inclusive team of caring professionals that helps all Kentucky families through a rewarding career in family support or social services. They have job openings in their county offices across the state and offer great benefits like hybrid work schedule, competitive salary, paid holidays, and many opportunities for training and promotions, plus state employee discounts. Go online to chfs.ky.gov and enter DCBS jobs in the search field. It's a new day at DCBS. Join them, an equal opportunity employer MFD.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
You can go your own way.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. So, if when you passed from this earth, would you like to see the 5 times that you almost passed?
No.
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Because I remember in one particular, so I haven't had many life flash before my eyes moments, but had one in the late 90s on a highway. Someone pulled out in front of me and it was a close enough accident, and I was traveling too fast without a doubt. But the trying to maneuver through that, the adrenaline rush, the oh no, this is bad moment has only happened to me one time. But I know there are probably other times that, whether it was traffic or whatever it might have been, that they were close calls even when you didn't necessarily know it. Mm-hmm. So that's an intriguing concept to me, that when all the hay is in the barn and when you get the well done, thou good and faithful servant, do you want to be able to be shown a photo album and said, remember this?
No.
You were almost here that day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of freaks me out a little bit, but it's an interesting consideration.
I mean,
Sam's like, nope.
I don't really want to relive.
Well, you wouldn't be reliving it.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to.
Nothing can change at that point.
Correct. So why go back and see it again?
Well, because I would want to
I'd rather see the 5 happiest moments or something like that.
There are a couple times I can think of for sure that were close calls. But I would like to see the other three. You know,
Yeah.
the three that I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's
necessarily.
it's the ignorance
Yes.
of the ones that I don't know
Yes.
about. Like if you had just been 30 seconds earlier or
Exactly.
later, when you roll up on an accident,
Mhm.
right? You see something and you think, well, if that had just
and you were
been
2 cars back.
Yeah,
or-
you just never know. All right, Sam. So let me bargain with you. In order to see the 5 best things that you want to see,
And I want to see nothing.
would you endure the 5 that I'm talking
No,
about?
then I want
out.
to see nothing.
Okay. All right.
Yes, strong feelings about that.
You're going to be bored, Sam. You're going to be bored in eternity.
dead.
You got nothing to do. MBOC, our television schedule. We're not to the Pearl of Wisdom yet, are we?
I mean, I'm.
Well,
I guess we sort of are. Animal Control on Fox, premiere of a new show.
I see. Yeah, that's with the guy from Community.
Is that Shred?
No. I see his face. Joel McHale.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because Shred. Here's what it says: Shred encounters a wild weasel in an attic.
I bet he's Shred then.
Frank slips his Slim Jim in Shred's back pocket as they approach a dozen ostriches. So basically baiting the ostriches. You stick a Slim Jim in the pocket so the ostriches will, well, sounds like hilarity ensues.
yeah, I think I would like this.
Those previews were on during the Super Bowl.
Yeah?
It was the one. You know how every
yes.
network chooses one show.
He's holding a jaguar or a puma or something under
that's
his
Joel
arm.
McHale.
Joel McHale.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Animal Control.
Oh, that makes sense.
By the way, if you talk to your dad before I do, honey, Sarah Evans was on Masked Singer last night. When they revealed it was Sarah Evans, his favorite.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts.
CMT Storytellers Kelsey Ballerini is on CMT tonight, and on ABC, the season finale of The Parent Test. The final 2 challenges, and one family takes home the title of Most Effective Parenting Style.
Ooh.
And then we'll be in Bowling Green tonight.
You're going to Bowling Green tonight?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Lady Cougars take on Warren Central. It's the second to last game. The penultimate, isn't that right? Isn't that the second to last?
Yep.
The penultimate game of the regular season for the Lady Cougars. 6 o'clock. That game got moved up. Originally it was scheduled for 7:30, so it is going to be 6 o'clock from Warren Central. Will be the Lady Cougars try to take on the Lady Dragons. Going to try and slay the Dragons.
Has your crew got their snack pattern ironed out? Like, do they make special requests on where they'd like to stop and get a snack to or from the game?
Well, luckily, I mean, considering, on Friday, tomorrow night, we'll be in Hancock County. There's no options really between here and Hancock unless we drive through Hardensburg.
Well,
so
that's
luckily,
why I
Bowling Green,
thought-
we've got all the options.
That's why I thought they would be trying to make hay while the sun shines,
And I
because
mean-
there are options in Bowling
And especially for me knowing, because, Warren Central, that little path in between Warren Central and WKU, you got a stretch of restaurants there that I frequented quite often.
They've got a poster of this lady over here in the Burger King. Was it the Cowboy? What was the sandwich you always ordered at Burger King at the Burger King there over close to campus?
It was the one that had the barbecue sauce and the onion ring on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Was
what it was called.
Something in particular.
I don't think that's
that's
still
been
there.
gone
I was
a
going to say,
long
I don't
time,
ever
honey.
remember there
Yeah.
being a Burger King ever by
Yeah,
campus.
that was back in my
The
Western
Burger
days.
King is gone.
I think
It's about halfway
Yeah.
between. It's about halfway between the train tracks and out toward the intersection where you go over to Warren Central.
Oh, that's...
No.
That's gone.
Yeah.
And the sandwich has been gone even longer. Just saying, if we weren't clear on that.
It was something had Cowboy or something or
Yeah,
Western
something
in
because of the
title.
barbecue sauce and the onion
Right.
ring on it.
You can get
And
your
it was
roast beef
cheap.
sandwich right there. You can get yourself some tacos right there.
It was like
you
a
can get
99
yourself some
cent
waffles
deal.
all right in that stretch, but I don't think you can go get yourself a Whopper.
Because I was poor.
All right, so I'm curious. Are you Parkway long way around, or are you a Veterans Memorial all around?
I'll go down and I'll pop out by the hot rods and I'll go right by. I got to drive by campus.
Okay, well, I
got to
got
check
you.
out the old stomping
All right,
grounds.
All right, so, well, if you're going by campus, you're not even using Veterans. Look at you go.
No, I don't. I could probably driven veterans. See, that's
Well,
that's way
and
out of
it's
the way.
also an opportunity for you to educate your crew members.
There you go.
On
Yeah,
Here's where
locations
you-
around
here's where
campus.
you went- Oh, yeah.
You know.
yeah. All the bars you used to hang out at.
My crew members are. No, I didn't.
Sam hanging out in the bars all the time.
One of my crew members might be meeting us down there, so
Okay.
I don't know. We're gonna make it work.
I saw where one of your crew members
That's
is
the one-
pretty much giving a long-term home at Western.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to be meeting us down there. We'll give a
right.
shout out to Cole. equipment manager for the football Western Kentucky football team. That was announced earlier this week.
Good for him. I saw that. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1959, Fidel Castro became the premier of Cuba. In 1923, the burial chamber of King Tut's recently unearthed tomb was unsealed in Egypt by archaeologist Howard Carter. 1961, the United States launched the Explorer 9 satellite. Birthdays today, LeVar Burton is 66.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow. Thank you, LeVar Burton. Ice-T is 65. John McEnroe is 64. Mahershala Ali is 49 today. Honey, what was the special event at school today? I know Alea had a special shirt on that said read Mo books.
All week has been something special, encouraging reading, and of course Valentine's Day was thrown in there as well. But today was dress as your favorite book character.
Mm-hmm.
So we love the Pigeon books, and the author. So she also loves the Piggy books, and the author is Mo Willems. So her shirt says, read Mo books. Yes.
I think it's wonderful. Gone but not forgotten, Hugh Beaumont, born in 1909.
Should we know who that is?
Yeah, Ward Cleaver. He was Beaver and Wally's dad on Leave It to Beaver. And Hugh Beaumont.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode.
I know I haven't. Way too young for that.
Why you gotta be so sore, Wally? Sonny Bono was born this date in 1935. James Ingram, born this date in 1952. Margot Hemingway, born this date in 1954. All right, chart toppers. Let's go to, I don't know what it is, but we seem to be stumbling onto the American Graffiti soundtrack quite often these days when we do our chart toppers. This one is from 1959, and the Crests were number one with 16 candles. Which is different than the 80s movie 16 Candles. They're not the same. 1968, the Temptations were number one with I Wish It Would Rain.
Well, wish granted.
With her went my future.
And done.
Filled with gloom. So
got plenty of that today for you.
I stayed locked up in my room.
I saw the prognostication, maybe a couple of inches of rain for us today. Be filling up the lake. Let's go to 1977. Manfred Mann, number one. But it's Deuce. Deuce. Get it straight.
Wrapped up like a deuce under the runner in the night. Blinded by the light.
And if you listen to that song long enough, they do a little round where they're singing in a round, you know.
It's a good song.
It's good. It's a good song, without a doubt. Let's go to another good song from 1986. Whitney Houston, How Will I Know? Very colorful in all the pastels in this video, if you recall.
Hey, her 10 years is coming up real soon, if it hasn't already passed.
It's already.
Was it like last week or something? Wasn't it recent?
Oh, it's more than... I thought she died the year we got married.
I think we talked. She died February 11th, 2012.
Yeah.
So it was 11 years ago.
She died right before we got married, yeah. Let's go to Brandy and Baby, number one in 95.
Thought this was by Justin Bieber.
It's another one. Different Baby.
Can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think the Biebs has her beat on it.
Yeah, probably so. But then in 2004, Miss Chicken of the Sea, Jessica Simpson, number one, with You. Is that tuna or is it chicken? And they call it the Chicken of the Sea. Is it tuna or is it chicken? Oh, goodness. Duh, big red truck. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on.